The Run Lift Mom podcast is brought to you by my efforts as a Zia Active independent representative and partners Hello Woofy for social media, Red H Nutrition, and Audible. Audible is the newest of this lineup, and if you want to try Audible free, all you've got to do is visit audibletrial.com/runliftmom. Welcome to the Run Lift Mom podcast, where we're talking about running, lifting, and momming, not necessarily in that order. Today, we're squarely in the running category because guess what? I ran a 100-mile race and lived to tell about it. That's right, this is an audio journal from the Blackbeard's 100-mile virtual run that I did, and I want to share it with you. Essentially, what happened here, I recorded my voice every 10 or so miles as I went throughout this 100-mile effort. The result is a race recap like you've never heard, so without further ado, listen to how my Blackbeard's 100 went. It is Monday, June 22nd, a little bit after 3:30 a.m., and at the top of the hour, I am going to begin my 100-mile Blackbeard's Revenge effort. I'm excited to be doing this. I wanted to do this race in late March. I trained for this race. It was the most grueling, longest, highest volume cycle I've ever gone through, and then the race got COVID canceled. The race organizers weren't able to do it. They offered a virtual option. Here's where it gets interesting. I thought the virtual option was just for late March. It wasn't. Apparently, you can do it anytime. You get all your proof together. It really feels a lot like a Guinness World Record application all over again. And then you submit it. You submit it by June 30th. Here's the thing, y'all. I didn't know any of that until earlier last week. I had been ignoring every email from Trivium Racing, that's the race organizers, because I was so sad not to be able to do the race. I happened to open one up last week, and it mentioned, hey, remember your deadline is June 30th. What? So that is when planning for today began. I'm nervous. I'm going into this knowingly a little bit undertrained. I've been doing some running and street parking since that training cycle, but I shelved my training. I shelved running. Here's why I'm doing it though. First of all, this is a bucket lister and I want to cross it off my list. And why not 2020? Everybody has written this year up to something terrible. Why not do something awesome? Who says it's not my year in running? And the second, as I started to think about it, my route is here in my neighborhood. I've received special permission from the race director to go back and forth from treadmill to outdoors. Part of that is because the parks in Fayetteville, North Carolina close at dusk. And so I legit can't run past dusk in a lot of the greenways that I really love to run on. And it makes sense because it's a minimum inconvenience for my family. I've got grandparents and my husband covering while I do this. I have planned this out pretty meticulously. And I'm going to see where it goes. And it just makes sense for my season of life. I don't think I'm going to have another opportunity like this to do this in my own backyard. So 24 hours is my stretch goal. I think it's probably going to take more like 29 hours. I have roadmaps for each. I'm ready to see where the day goes, and 100 miles. Let's roll. All right, checking in at mile 10. I am feeling fantastic. I'm right on schedule, so about an hour and 50 minutes of running, and then about 10 minutes to change my socks, change my shoes, get some fuel. I am starting to fuel relatively early. Typically, I wait until mile 20 or 30 for an ultramarathon, usually around the halfway mark for a marathon. But I'm fueling early today, and it's all about preservation. I know that I'm undertrained. I know I am. But I think if I can use my head and keep bad things from happening, so blisters on my feet, my digestion going upside down, stuff like that, I think I'll be in a position to win. Roll on. And here I am checking in at mile 20. It was fun. I just got to run about a quarter mile with my 6-year-old, and I'm still feeling really great. I'm within those 2-hour segments. I created both a stretch goal, which is completing 100 miles in 24 hours, as well as like if the wheels fall off, I'll be cool with this goal. And that's in completing it in about 28 or 29 hours. It's way too early. But I'm being conservative. I'm hitting those 2-hour windows, so about an hour and 15 minutes of running and then about 10 for self-care. And I'll do that for the first third. Then I'll give myself a half hour, so making those 10-mile segments 2.5 hours. And then I will give myself another half hour, making those 10-mile segments 3 hours. That's the plan. I've experienced enough to know that sometimes the plan doesn't always work, but so far, so good. I'm feeling great. All right, I am just about to finish mile 30. It is so hot. Like, it went from about 70 to 90 over the course of the last 3 hours, and I can definitely feel it. That said, I'm still in a really nice pace doing these 10-mile efforts within 2-hour segments, although I might need to move my next 10 miles from outdoor to half outdoor and half indoor. We shall see. Okay, I have reached mile 40, and I actually packed it in from outside at mile 34 and came in because it is disgusting. It's disgusting hot. So I have my husband here who is offering moral support and fueling and all the things today.
It's real hot.
That's his radio voice. I'm obviously still in good spirits, and I'm going to continue on the treadmill while it's really hot outside. All right, what's good? I have finished 50 miles. It is 2:30 p.m. and I am right on pace and where I want to be. I have gone through 4 pairs of sweat-soaked shoes, 4 pairs of socks. I'm changing in to brand new socks and brand new shoes every single time I stop after a 10-mile segment. And that is just because I want to keep my feet healthy. I told myself at the beginning of this that I wasn't going to strategize until I got 50 miles under my belt. So here I am. I'm still feeling really good. My digestion is still working. It's still on point. And I'm nice and hydrated, keeping an eye on the color of my urine. So if urine gets really yellow or even kind of brown, that means you're severely dehydrated. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. So I'm drinking all the water, all the Gatorade, all the pickle juice to keep, a balance with that salt and the electrolytes. But so far, so good. I will see you at 60 miles. Okay, I have just finished a 10-mile segment. I am at mile 60. I got to 60 at 4:45, but now it's 5 p.m. and I'm about to get rolling again. Something that's happening is instead of like 10 minutes to recover between 10-mile efforts, I'm obviously needing 15 and probably going to start needing more like 20. That is to change my shoes, it's to change my socks, it's to get fueled up, it's to do things like brush my hair and brush my teeth. But I'm feeling really great. I am on pace. I'm feeling good. Okay, I have just completed mile 70. My friend Jackie came and did 4 miles with me from 66 to 70. Oh, and Christian did 65 with me. So I'm really excited. I'm still feeling good. I'm able to digest. I'm peeing, and I'm feeling pretty good. I'm slowing down. In between those 10-mile segments, it's like going from like, oh, I need 10 minutes to get ready to go again, to 15 to 20 to, I think I just took a 25-minute break. But nonetheless, I'm feeling good and I'm on target. All right, it is a little after 10 o'clock and I have completed 80 miles. It is a full-on speed walk at this point. I was doing some run walking, but now it's definitely a speed walk. I'm probably going to do this speed walk deal for the next 10 or so miles and try to stay on pace. This race has a 30-hour cutoff. And so while I'm probably not going to make my sub 24, I'll definitely nail the sub 30. And really, I'm just worried about completion. It is hard. I have an ego, and I was on that 24-hour track like all day, but I mean, just the wheels have fallen off. So I'm going to continue on. Blessedly, my feet are still healthy. I'm not chafed or blistered anywhere, and I'm able to digest foods, although I'm not that hungry. So keeping on trucking. All right, it is 11:40 p.m. I've been at this for almost 20 hours, and I've run 85 miles thus far. Let me tell you where the wheels fall off. About mile 84. That is just digestively, it's gone upside down. I'll spare you the details. Digestively, it's gone upside down. My feet are really feeling it just in terms of like swelling. And so I'm really taking care of these rest breaks. You'll probably notice that earlier I was doing 10-mile segments and now it's 5-mile segments. And so I want to get to that mile 90, and then I might even break it down even more. I'm going to take a dose of my own medicine. I'm always telling people to break down large goals into smaller ones and then just focus on those small goals. And so that is what I need to do here. I am on the treadmill for the rest of this run because insane rain starting around mile 80, and safety. But 85. That's where everything changes. I have got 10 more miles. It is 1:30 a.m. I've got 10 more miles. I've completed 90. And I'm about to vomit. I can't even say vomit. I'm about to vomit. That is all. $95. I am so exhausted. This is testing me more than I anticipated. Oh, ironically enough, I got a text message from someone. I told very few people I was doing this, but got rather confident around mile 80, and told someone what I was doing, and they said, come out better than you went in. Come out better than you went in. And you guys, that's my mantra. That's my mantra for the last 5 miles. It's gonna be my mantra for the next 5. I really thought I had a high grit level. Mentally, I thought I was about as tough as I could get. And this is really testing me. So next time I record an entry here, I will be done. It is not gonna be in 24 hours, but that is okay. I really just want to finish this. I wanted to do 100 miles, and why not me? Why not in 2020? So here's to the next 5. So I'm coming over here. It is mile 96. I'm really breaking it down. My back door is so chafed. It's insane. It is insane. My feet are healthy. My bra line is great. I have not changed bras at all. I've been changing my shorts pretty often. They're fine. My back door, you guys. Ow, it hurts. I am knocking on 4:30 a.m. and my husband Trey just finished 2 miles with me. I'm walking at this point, you guys, but it feels really, really great outside. And so my feet feel like I have done 98 miles, but I'm inside of my last 2 miles. It was a real mental lift to have Trey with me out here. It's harder. This is a lot harder than I anticipated, and I anticipated a really tough day. So I'm really grateful for his support and him not only like taking care of the kids all day, but then doing part of this with me. What a blessing. Done. I am done. 24 hours and 58 minutes. I am done. I'm going to come back with some thoughts later, but I am proud of this accomplishment. It darn near killed me. And it was the challenge I thought it would be. Well, that ended pretty abruptly, huh? You guys, I was so tired. I just was not in the headspace to make a proper final segment. So allow me here. I cannot believe I did 100 miles. I'm still wrapping my head around it, and I'm grateful to God and giving him all the glory. First of all, for putting this on my heart, and second of all, for giving me the courage required to complete it. I am so, so grateful, and I know that it's an experience that I will look back on forever. It's amazing. 24 hours and 58 minutes. I am not ashamed of that time whatsoever. I'm incredibly proud of it. It was a consistent effort, and I don't think it could have been planned any better. The elusive 24 hours is something that a lot of runners chase, but now with hindsight, having done this, I realized it was probably a little too aggressive a goal from the beginning. And so my first takeaway from this race for you, even if you don't have 100 miles scheduled, would be it's great to have a stretch goal, but don't invest too much in it. I'm really glad that I had 2 goals. My 2 goals, of course, were first, come in around 28, 29 hours, which I blew out of the water. And then I had that 24-hour stretch goal, which kept me challenged the entire time. But because I had 2 goals, it was okay that I didn't reach the stretch goal. You know what they say, reach for the moon, you'll hit the stars. So this is a really, really good example of it. I want to reinforce my biggest takeaways for you, because at the time of this airing, it's summertime and people are running in the heat. And you guys, this was a really practical, way to test a lot of the heat strategies that I'm always recommending for you. First and foremost, that hose pipe thing where you take your garden hose and douse yourself with water and then go out for your run. It works, y'all. It works really well. Another thing that I'm always recommending, and that running coaches are always recommending, is to find shady spots. And I can't emphasize that enough. If you know where the shady spots are in your regular running route, it's really going to serve you, because it will be several degrees cooler in those shady spots. Another thing that I haven't talked about that often, but saved me, is the ice cube trick. And what I'm talking about is putting 6 or 7 ice cubes in your hat, as well as in your sports bra. An All-Star works really well for this because it's full coverage and because the ice cubes won't spill out. You guys, ice cubes will help cool your core body temperature down, and it goes a really long way when it's hot outside. The majority of the day for me was about 90 degrees, insane humidity, and ice cubes in my hat and bra totally saved me. Another thing as I reflect is on digestion. During the race, I was really upset that my digestion went upside down at the end, but now in hindsight, I realize it was a big win. For most ultra runners, around hour 15, it goes downhill. You just know that you're not going to be able to digest anything. I was able to go until about hour 19 and still digest. This is a huge win, and because I stayed nice and hydrated, it carried me through the end, even though I wasn't able to eat in those final hours. I think anybody can come to the table and learn what they need to if you are going on a longer effort, even if you're not, even if your effort is not, 20 hours. Let's say it's a marathon or something. The takeaway is fast-burning carbohydrate, and then staying hydrated there. But I'm really proud of that as well. And I think it comes down to more race experience than it does the formal education that I have in health sciences. I want to mention, this has been on my heart to do since 2010. I don't think I could have done this in 2010. In 2010, I wasn't a mature enough runner. In 2010, my why wasn't strong enough. The night before I did this race, I was texting with a friend who told me to remember my why and then reminded me again to remember my why during the race as she was checking on me. My why now is to honor God and to be a good role model for my kids. My son ran with me during this. The kids knew I was doing this all day. And when it got really hard toward the end, just knowing that they expected me to finish all 100 miles, that was enough for me. Honoring God with this. You're listening to this podcast right now. You know that I'm a Christian woman. You know, hopefully, how I live my life. That is how I'm honoring God with my running. It's not wearing a Bible verse on my singlet or anything like that. It's living my life and doing things like crazy running 100 miles that might make you pay attention to the way that I honor Christ through my running. So in 2010, I don't think I had a strong why like that. And now I do. And because I did 100 miles down, I'm officially a 100 miler. I want to thank Trivium Racing. Trivium Racing is the race group that was supposed to put on Blackbeard's 100 and made this a virtual option. They made it possible for us to do a virtual option beyond March when I just wasn't in the headspace to do it. I also want to thank Zensa Compression. The compression sleeves that they provided for me for this effort got me through it, and I'm just so appreciative, especially in the hot weather. Zensa is far and away better than the other brands that I had access to. And then also I want to thank Hero Cream, which is a CBD topical lotion, and I have used that for recovery as well as during the race when I had pain, and it reduced my need to take Tylenol or Advil or anything like that. And so I just want to thank those folks there. Of course, a lot more than just brands came together to make this possible. A lot of people came together, like my parents, like my in-laws, my husband Trey, my kids, my pacers Stacy and Jackie. You guys, I appreciate it so much, and I realize this final segment is really long. If you've hung in there and made it this long, thank you so much. I hope you learned something in this audio journal. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening about my 100-mile race. This audio journal is a race recap, and I'm so happy to share it with you. Until I get into your earpiece again, remember, for while bodily training is of some value, godliness is of value in every way, as it holds promise for the present life and also for the life to come. That's from 1 Timothy 4:8, and this has been the Run Lift Mom podcast. All right, I've got Katie Danger with Red H Nutrition. Katie, you know I am a runner first and foremost. I'm doing anywhere from 20 to 40 miles per week. I'm closer to 40 than I am 30. Tell me about Super Flexi.
Super Flexi is great for anybody who is active, has a few aches and pains in their joint and tissues, and wants to combat that with a all-in-one full-strength joint and tissue support. It's got turmeric, it's got glucosamine and chondroitin, it's got collagen type 2. So what you're looking at here is a full and total spectrum support for any inflammation you have with your joints and tissues. It's going to help you improve your range of motion, and you're going to just feel better doing what you love.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you don't have to be a runner to benefit from Super Flexi.
No, it doesn't matter what you do. In fact, even if you only work out 3 times a day, light cardio, maybe you're just a walker, if you want to feel better and you want your joints and tissues to move the way you want them to, Super Flexi is essential.
Hey, Run Lift Mom listeners, you know I'm the mom of 4 kids under age 5, and therefore I am always looking for ways to work smart, not hard. Anchor is the smartest way to make a podcast. Let me tell you why. First of all, there are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, but Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you, so then it can be heard on places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and a whole lot more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It is quite literally everything you need all in one place, and y'all, it's free. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's time for the Zaya Active item of the week, and this week it is the Copper Charge Tank. If you've known me for a minute, you have heard me refer to CPW. CPW stands for cost per wear, and since college, I have been calculating my wardrobe as such. Cost of item divided by number of times you wear it. That's your true cost, and my CPW on the Copper Charge Tank, y'all, definitely less than $1. Here's why I wear it so much. I am a marathon runner. I do a lot of long efforts, and I really love that this is seamless and as such, chafe free. When I'm not doing running, I'm doing a lot of CrossFit-esque things in my garage, such as like handstand holds or inversions. And I love that there's a functional band at the bottom, so like the bottom of it doesn't fly up in my face. Another thing that I love about it, I've had activewear that like when I wash it 50, 60 times, it starts to stink. There is nothing that I can do to get the stank out. This is an exception, and here's why. It's made with 4% copper thread, and that is going to keep the stink out, and that's really good because I wash it a lot. The CPW is low. For your consideration, the Copper Charge Tank. Check me out, #RunLiftMom on all the socials. Get you some. Thank you for listening to the Run Lift Mom podcast. This began as a passion project in February 2019, and now, you guys, it is legit my favorite thing to do each week. Record with the guests that come on Run Lift Mom, and then share their knowledge and expertise with you. I love this. I have done a lot of things right with this show. The thing that I've done wrong, I haven't asked you to rate, review, and subscribe enough. You guys, this is how other people find the show. So please do me a solid, rate, review, and subscribe. Thank you for being a listener of Run Lift Mom. And what you just happened to fall within was, this was a race I had trained for, and then it got COVID canceled in late March. And I just wasn't in the headspace to do it. And I've been ignoring every email from the RDs because I thought you had to do it that week. Turns out we had until June 30th to submit. So when you had booked, I had just said, all right, I'm going to do this on Monday. Like, I'm just doing it. Anyway, so I did. Wow. I completed it. I'm recovering today. It went as well. And actually, with a background as a chiropractor, you'll appreciate. I mean, I feel like I ran 100 miles, but My lower back is great. My knee, like my body feels pretty good. My feet, my toenails are fine. My feet aren't swollen. Like, I went
That's
conservatively enough the whole time that it worked for me. So,
So how many hours did that take you then?
24 hours and 58 minutes. And I don't know how those sub 24 hours, and I will, like, that was my goal, but I fell off. It fell off in the last 15 miles. I don't know how people do that. Obviously they don't do it in 90-degree, heat. So that's probably part of it. But I told my husband, he's like, is this like, I think he was afraid. He's like, is this going to be your thing now? Are you going to do 100? I'm like, nope. Bucket lister, take me back to 26.2. I will be just fine.
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
Hey, Run Lift Mom listeners, if you are here for business or entrepreneur type topics, I want to let you know I have a new show. It's called Serve Then Sell, and it's available on 10 different channels, including Google, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. The idea here is not to just lump in the business topics with running, lifting, and momming. I want to create more of a separation. I hope you will come hang out with me over there. Again, the name of the show is called Serve Then Sell. Enter that into any search box and you're going to see it come right up. We'll be running, lifting, and momming over here. I hope you'll still hang out. Check in over there if it will be a blessing for you.